up, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast. Today I'm taking a little bit of a personal day. I have one quote to do this morning, and I thought I'd get my granddaddy's 1987 Chevrolet S-10 out, and I thought you guys might like to come along for a ride. This is it's always a special treat for me to drive this little truck. It's just a manual 4-speed in the floor, and there's nothing fancy about it. My grandpa, he was a bit of I think, a minimalist. This truck doesn't even have air conditioning, and yes, they had it in 1987, but it's always a real treat. I just love driving this little truck. And granted, the start of this video might have been a little bit overly cinematic for what this is, but it's almost a little bit of a disguise on this video. I didn't want it to, I want to be kind of like the opposite of clickbait. I know that most of you guys out there are wanting advice on excavation and grading, help with the pricing, bidding, stuff like that, but there's also a select few of you who show interest in me personally and my life, and that few of you are a little bit extra special to me, you know, because in giving all this advice and, you know, really revealing a lot of stuff that I consider kindly trade secrets, especially on the pricing side, it means something special to me that you guys show interest. And I have people asking, where's Emma been? You need to get her in some of the videos. You know, that shows a personality to you guys, and it really does, you know, it warms my heart. It warms my heart that you guys, you know, it's almost like, and I know what it feels like to like get involved in a TV show and almost feel like you know that person personally. And it's almost like you care, you know, a character gets killed off in a show or a series and you feel a pain, even though you know it's just a character, you know. It makes me feel good that you guys feel a connection with me and my family, and that means a lot. And I wanted to share a little something extra with you guys who are that way, that you really show an interest in us, and it's almost like you really care about what's going on in the videos, and you care whether a job goes good or bad. You're not just those people who watch the videos hoping I turn a piece of equipment over or something gets tore up or something goes wrong. But I see in the comments, I pick up on those of you who are excited when a job goes good and it goes smoothly. So this is kind of anti-clickbait, if you will. I didn't want to attract the viewers who don't care and they're just here for themselves and what can they get from the channel. So I wanted to share with you guys a story. One of the viewers asked me in yesterday's video, point blank, how did you get your first couple of jobs? And this is a really revealing story, because anybody can use this story to start up in a business that I'm in, and in revealing it, anybody in my area who sees it can do the same thing and eventually become competition. Now granted, I've always said that most of the guys in this business, in this area, are friends of mine, and we all get along, and I like that. But at the same time, you, as a business person, you don't want any more competition than you have to have. So let's get right to the story. So back many years ago, I guess it was probably, well, 12 or so years, somewhere between 12 and 15 years, I decided I wanted to start a side business. At the time, I was a truck driver. I drove a tractor trailer for RSC Equipment Rental. Y'all may know it as United Rentals now. They bought us out. But I decided I eventually wanted to be a self-employed person. I never thought that fixing driveways and bush hogging would eventually be my livelihood. At that time, it started out as Todd's Bush Hogging Plus. And that business name will always be dear to my heart because it was just so basic and not planned out. You know, I didn't plan it to use Asheville instead because it started with the letter A, and in any alphabetized directory, Asheville bush hogging would have been great, which ended up being what I changed it to. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, I guess. So in starting the business, I didn't have any equipment. I did not have, let's see, I didn't even have my truck at the time, or trailer, or anything. I had nothing, which is what I started with. And I thought, how in the world am I going to start? And just like many of you, I was scared to death to take a payment. I was absolutely scared to death to be committed. And I'll just tell you guys right now, you've got to commit at some point. If you really want to chase this dream of self-employment, you've got to commit. Well, I started out, I put an ad on Craigslist. One of the worst advertising tools you can fight with, because every Tom, Dick, and Larry with a piece of junk, tractor, chainsaw is on there, and it's a struggle. But anyway, that's what I did. I put an ad on Craigslist back when it was free, didn't cost anything, and I don't remember the exact heading. I put an ad on there, driveway scraping or something. Just horrible, horrible. If you only know it as driveway scraping, you are just almost kind of, how do I put this without it being insulting to people? You're basic. You're a very basic operator. You go in, you scrape it flat. You know, most of the time those people don't know to crown the road. They don't know when it needs more material. They have no idea where to get material. You're at the beginning. That's what you are. You're at the beginning. Okay? As you evolve, it becomes driveway repair. So, this is a fun video, and that's why I don't care about following any kind of script or anything. I can bounce around. So I put that ad on there, and I'll be darned if I didn't get a call pretty quick. And I thought, oh snakies, that ain't the word I'd use, but you know, family friendly. I thought, oh shoot, I don't even know how to charge for this. So I go to meet the guy, and his name's right on the tip of my brain, but I remember it, and I can drive straight to his driveway right now, even though I hadn't been there since to work on his driveway. And I go meet the guy, and his driveway's covered in leaves. It's about this time of year, fall time, covered in leaves. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't tell if it was rutted or what it needed. And I said, okay. Looked at the driveway, didn't know to measure it or anything. So I decide, well, if I don't have equipment, I'll find somebody who does. I didn't know about, you know, I knew about renting equipment, but there was no tractors or anything. I didn't know how to use a skid steer or an excavator. But a man I worked with there, his name was Junior, the old man. I was talking to him, and he had a tractor, and he did driveway scraping. So I said, well, why don't you go with me back to this place, look at the driveway with me, and tell me what you'd charge me to do it. He said, all right. Man smoked probably 2 to 4 packs of cigarettes a day. You couldn't hardly understand him. Rough voice. So me and him meet up there, and I think at the time I drove a Mustang. You talk about something that makes you not look like you got any clue what you're doing. So me and Junior meet at this driveway, and he says, I'll have to have $550. Now this shocked me. I mean, it shocked me. I thought, you were crazy, because back in the town I grew up in, it was just, there wasn't a lot of money, you know, things like that just didn't pay that. To scrape that driveway, and it seems like it was probably, just thinking back, maybe 275, 300 feet long. Where I came from, that was like $100 to $150 job. So I thought, are you serious, man? That's best. That really? And he's like, yeah, I gotta have $550. I said, oh my God, there ain't no way I can make some money on this. But this is where it all began. The one spot, the Benjamin, the $100 bill. I've always said, if I can't make $100 on a sub job, you know, if I can't make 100 on top of what somebody else bids, it ain't worth it, you know. By the time you pay taxes, you're down to 70. I didn't even know about taxes at this time. I didn't have a clue about any of it. And so I thought, well, I gotta make something. So I called the customer up and I said, all right, we can fix it for $650. I said, I'll get the leaves off of it and we'll grade it out smooth. Junior didn't think it needed any material. Oh, it's got plenty of it, plenty. So I'll be darned if they didn't hire us. I was so excited. I thought, you got to be kidding me. Somebody's gonna pay $650 for us to scrape maybe 300 feet of driveway. And I say I don't know how much it was because I didn't have a measuring wheel. We were just looking at it. So he hires us. And, you know, I didn't have much money. I sure didn't have extra $550. So Junior was okay with me. If I remember correctly, he was all right with me. When we got the job done, when I got paid, I'd pay him. So sure enough, we go, and I'm there with Junior on the job in case he needed anything. And you talk about somebody that's good with a tractor. He used that loader to push the leaves off the road, and he didn't get hardly any gravel with the leaves. It looked like he took a leaf blower and blew the leaves off the road, and then he went to scraping and grading. Now, I'd watch my dad grade, you know, scrape driveways and stuff, but now Junior, he worked it over, buddy, and he made it look good. So that's how I got that job. That is how I got that job. Just for sake of telling the stories, I don't remember my second job right offhand. I think I went, and it was about a week after I put that post on. Now I made $100, and I thought, wait a minute, if I owned my own tractor, I'd have made $650. I've never made that kind of money. Not in 3 hours of work. 2-3 hours, I guess we were there. $650 revenue. Now this is back, you know, kind of right before that recession, you know. It's almost pretty much right around 08, I guess it was, roughly. So I thought, man, you got to be kidding me. I made $100, and I took 2 phone calls and 2 trips out there. 2 or 3, something like that. Anyway, it was not hard. I thought I made a one spot, $100. That's all right. That's all right in my book. But then I thought, you know, I want all of it. I don't want to sub it out. So shortly thereafter, I go down to place. It was Tractors on the Creek, and it's shut down now, out of business. But they sold the mid-80s gray market Yanmar tractors. And I don't care what anybody says. I bought a 50 horsepower one with a loader. The loader was crap. That thing was junk. But now the tractor, I worked it and I beat it and I abused it. I take care of my stuff now, but I abused that tractor. I mean, big time. So, went down there and talked to Arch, the guy that owned it. Real old guy. And he made me a price on one. I bought that tractor, I think it was mid-80s. He wasn't even sure what year it was. Bought this tractor, had been completely refurbished. They're Korean Yanmars. And red tractors. He priced it out to me. I got a loader, a bush hog, a scrape blade, and I think I had him, I can't remember if I got a plow or what, but I know I had the scrape blade and the bush hog, of course loader, and he sold every bit of that to me. I want to say it was like $13,500 $300 or something. Anyway, the payment on that Joker is $371 and I think 88 cents. And that scared the crap out of me. Now, that scared me. I thought, oh Lord, now I have to make $300 something. So to be good about this, I have to make $400 every week, because what I figured I needed to make. And you know, you develop a whole different way of thinking when you have been in business for a while. But when you haven't been in business and you're winging it, oh my gosh, man, it'll scare you to death. If you've only worked a job for somebody else and you hadn't made, you know, dealt with large amounts of money, this kind of thing will scare you to death. So, and that's another reason it's hard for a lot of you guys who are wanting to leave your full-time job. You're used to making, most people I would say make $12 to $25 an hour, roughly. Most people. Now when you start having to make $1,500 a month truck payment, $1,200 to $1,500 a month excavator, $650 a month, like my tractor, $650 a month, my new one, the Kubota. If you got a skid steer, you know, it could be anywhere around $1,000 to $1,500 a month. You know, these numbers are big. So when you start looking at like Elite Earthworks, he's got 2 dump trucks, the skid steer, the excavator, and if they're paid for and they're older, you got maintenance. So I don't want to get too far away from how I got my start. Yeah, it was scary. It was really scary, and I had a full-time job. But if the tractor wasn't working and I wasn't making money with it, I didn't make enough working my job to carry it, really. It had to pay for itself. So on top of a tractor, I ended up getting my truck to haul it. At that time, it was a Dodge 3500, and loved that truck. Man, it's a Dodge 3500 flatbed. And actually, well, I told you wrong. It wasn't. I bought the truck first, then the tractor. I actually used to own a welding business. So, a little welding business. Now that was a hobby. There wasn't a lot of overhead. But that was how I got really started. You know, I put that ad out there, subbed the job out. But what I was doing, and my conscious thought was, I'm gonna put an ad out and see what kind of calls I get. And sure enough, they started. Now during the height of that little recession, you know, things slowed down and they were more sporadic, but I never felt like who is in a political office controlled me, and how it controlled my business. So some people may say yes, some may no. Who knows? I don't know. But it comes down to you guys taking those steps. Take your steps. And now I have told, you know, on my channel, you know, advertise, test the market. And I've told a lot of guys, just talking to them, you know, test your market out, fill it out, you know, advertise for something that you know you can rent the equipment, and then you can rent the machine. You can rent the machine. You can hire somebody to haul dump truck. You can have the rental companies deliver the machines, and you just do the work, you know. And well, I'm getting long-winded now. But this has just been totally an unscripted ride along. And I wanted to share a little something that, you know, this story that I don't think I'll ever like put it in a headline or put it in the tags so it can be searched. This is a little something special for that special few of you who watch all my videos, who are invested in my life and a part of it. And for that, I thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. We love you. You're making a difference in my life. And Kelly and Emma's, you know, we don't make a lot, but I ain't gonna BS you. You know, the little ads you watch on here, YouTube pays us to allow ads on the channel. So it's not much, but it is helping. And in turn, it makes me want to work harder and make better videos for you guys to help you, and hopefully help you guys gain the motivation and the courage to start it. You don't always, you guys don't have to go full time, you know, but I do encourage you guys to, if it's something you want to do, start part-time and build up from there. And who knows, it may be the greatest thing you've ever done, and it may grow into the thing that you're the most proud of. So thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are having a great day, but because of you, I'm having a great day. Thank you. We'll see you on the next video. Actually, you know what? Just for the heck of it, I'm just going to set the tripod up and let you guys, actually, let's walk up here. I'll show you what's going on with my little driveway, and we're just going to scrape it and get it fixed up. Let's check it out. There's our baby boy Wilbur. He's still with us. I was going to sell him, and I might still, but I'd like to see him go to a good home. So heck, maybe even one of you guys that's viewing, if you're needing a little single axle dump truck, hit me up in the comments. So here is the issue. There's a lot of rock on this little driveway, but one part that's a problem, let me just step over here. You can see that it's not a straight plane. It kind of goes and then it turns up, and that makes it hard to pull equipment up and out of here, because as the truck starts up, the way the trailer's pulling up on the rear end of the truck and causes it to want to spin. But this damage is thanks to that tropical storm Zeta. I had it shaped where water just trickled down this edge perfectly, and it just run off, no problems. But we were just got too much water, and it's washed this little crevasse off and in here. One day this winter, when I've got some time, what I'd like to do is skin all of this material off and widen this about 3 feet. Use that material that I dig up to raise the center of this road bed to make it more of a smooth takeoff out of here. Y'all wanna know something funny? Back before me and the wife got married, this was my house. That thing is like 20 by 15. That was my tiny house. I lived right there. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was set up like a studio. It had like a little corner bathroom, and you could sit on the toilet and reach out and touch the door in front of you, and that was about all you had, and a tiny little shower. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I'd like to skin this off, widen my road out, but I run the dump trucks in and out of here so much, it stays packed so hard it doesn't really wash. But we have been so busy this summer. You can see I've got grass growing up in my road. Equipment has just stayed on job sites. It's just stayed out, which is great. It thrills me. We've stayed so busy, and we've been so fortunate, even with the virus and election year and everything. I'm ready for that to be done. So what I'm gonna do now, just for your viewing pleasure, I'm gonna set the tripod up, I guess down here somewhere. Maybe like right here at this angle, and that way you can see what each pass with the box blade does.